All right, so we're going to talk about the reproductive system. Actually, the last of the 11 body systems that I've talked about in both Anatomy 1 and Anatomy 2 this course. All right, learning objectives. Just talking about the anatomical positions, some of the, and I didn't type this in, I should have though, but, and also some of the functions of these of the reproductive anatomy organs and parts. So those are the things that we'll talk about. All right, and I believe that this was already on your, or should have been on your vocabulary. Female reproductive organs. So you have the uterus, the organ where offsprings are conceived and in which they gestate before birth, or in other words, the womb. The cervix, the narrow passage forming the lower end of the uterus, and I'm going to show diagrams of this. And of course, the ovaries, the area where it actually produces and releases eggs to be fertilized by the sperm. All right, so here we are. All right, so we have again like the fallopian tube. It's just saying fallopian tube because it's pointing at one, but of course there are two. So of course the plural, of course, is the fallopian tubes. All right, so fallopian tubes. Either of the pair of tubes, here's one, here's the other, either of the pair of tubes, in which eggs travel from the ovary to the uterus. So we have the ovaries here. That's ovary. So this is ovary. Ovary, all right, that prepares the eggs, the oocytes, and actually the eggs, are prepared here, and then an egg will be released, flowing through the ovary, landing in the uterus in bed, okay, waiting to be fertilized. And if it is not fertilized, course, monthly, then that's the monthly menstruation process, where the blood lining that's formed here to support the egg, that is, if it was fertilized, is then shed. All right. So again, of course, two ovaries, two fallopian tubes. All right. Ovarian cancer, which is of course, something that's very unfortunate. This is the ribbon, and as you very may know, there's different color of ribbons for different color of cancers. Breast cancer will be pink, so of course you're more familiar with that, or at least seen that. But ovarian cancer, pretty bad, pretty deadly, potentially deadly. That's basically just where the ovaries become cancers. Cancer is simply just the uncontrolled growth of cells. So that's basically when the cells are proliferating or dividing in an uncontrolled manner. When cells actually divide, you go from one cell, that's supposed to be a cell, I'm sorry, go from one cell, and through mitosis, all right, and then you have two cells after this cell cycle, all right, after the whole cell cycle and the mitosis process. And it takes time, all right? Different kinds of cells it might take 12 hours, 14 hours, 8 hours, it depends. Whereas with cancer cells, all right, this cell division from one to two cells actually occurs much faster, rapidly. So you're going to have, it looks larger, as you can see. A lot of cancer cells release chemicals that actually stimulates more blood vessels to grow in that area so that the cells can be fed, all right, and nourished from more things coming from the blood. So yeah, so ovarian cancer. Prior to me teaching, I used to work in research laboratory. Actually worked in several research laboratories, and one of the research laboratories I worked in actually was a cancer research lab. We worked with prostate cancer and ovarian cancer. So it's quite interesting in terms of what was going on. Basically, the ovarian cancer, the animal models that we used were mice. And actually, a lot of the things that were happening with female mice, basically with their ovarian cancer, was on some level or another, some similarities even with human beings. So again, the process or progression of the ovarian cancer. All right. So basically here, healthy one, but now actually, okay, cells are beginning to divide uncontrollably, and this is where it gets even dangerous, where it metastasizes. So that's basically where the cancer actually breaks off, all right? And it can go to other parts of the body. That is, if the cancer cells gets into the lymphatic system, all right, and the lymph vessels carry it off to other parts of the body, or if it gets into the circulatory system and it carries the cancer cell to other parts of the body. And sometimes those cancer cells may land in other organs and sit there and continue to start growing. All right, this is just from a cadaver from a female, the rectum. Then you have the urethra, the bladder, urethra, and so on and so forth. So I just kind of like to add the cadaver bodies so that you kind of get a real good idea of, wow, this is what the real thing looks like. All right, the male reproductive system: scrotum, testes, spermatic ducts, prostate gland, urethra. I believe that these items were already on your vocabulary homework sheet, so make sure that you review those. Okay, so here, the male, okay, so you have this whole area will be the scrotum, all right, this area, the testes, where the sperm produced, all right, the sperm ducts, where the sperm comes through here, goes beyond here, that's the bladder, all right, and then goes through the prostate, okay, and is released through the penis, as well as urine. Okay, it's going to go through the prostate and release through the penis, through your urethra and through the penis. Again, just kind of more so comparing and contrasting the ovaries, egg release into the uterus. You have the vagina here. And again, like I said, during the monthly cycle, that is going to be released. And here, right here, is the cervix. Cervix right here for the female reproductive system. Okay, male reproductive system again. Here we have the bladder, prostate gland. I mentioned about the prostate gland. Here is the portion where the spermatic duct, where the sperm duct basically, where it's going to be more so sperm from the testes. And like I said, this whole right here, this whole area, scrotum. More specific right here, all right, the testes. Epidermis right here, this portion that sits on top. Okay. Yet another cut from a cadaver. Just again, like I said, just kind of showing the many things I just talked about here. Of course, scrotum, testes, epidermis, so on and so forth. All right, talked about ovarian cancer. Unfortunately, you have prostate cancer. That too is more of a darker blue. And I mentioned this before, I think, in urology, I believe. Normal prostate, the urethra should be pretty much open, allowing for urine to get through. Unfortunately, you have prostate cancer that can actually shut off or actually cause, when a male is urinating, not much urine going through at all. All right, and this is pretty much the same thing, but I just want to show where the prostate cancer, it may not be on both sides. It can just grow on one side. It just depends. It just simply depends. All right, so again, normal prostate here, and then prostate cancer.